Hi everyone, this is Arti Bagdi. I'm a filmmaker and a Win ambassador. In a short while, we'll start our Forging Filmmaker Dream series. Please hang on for a bit till my guest of the day joins in. So let me tell you a bit about the series, Forging Filmmaker Dreams. So my guest is here.
Hi,
Hi!
how
Hello!
are you?
Very well.
Doing good
I'm
today?
glad we're doing this on Insta Live. It's just so much more fun to
Yeah,
see you.
yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
gonna get distracted with all the hearts and all the likes. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully just the hearts and likes.
Anyway, so let's begin our session today,
Sure.
Meghna. Quickly, first, I'd like to tell our entire audience that this is on the Women Inspiring Network and the Whistling Woods International handle. And I'm Arti Bagdi. I'm a filmmaker as well as a Win ambassador. And I'm here to present the Forging Filmmaker Dream series, where we're going to be talking to women from the filmmaking business, be it education, producing, storytelling, directing, in the entire gamut. And we will actually hear about their techniques that actually keep them excelling throughout. So today's guest we have is Meghna Ghai Puri. Hi, Meghna. She's the
Hi again.
president of Whistling Woods International. And Meghna, the Whistling Woods International has been rated as one of the top 10 film schools across the world. Meghna has been recognized for her efforts right from 2010. She's won a lot of awards and Superwoman Achiever and an honorary fellowship by Bradford College. And the Economic Times gave Whistling Woods the outstanding contribution towards film education, as well as recently she was personally given as the best social activist for education to underprivileged children by the National Education Summit. So we have a Zen Buddhist monk amongst us with a large heart. So anyway, we will start the conversation right in. Meghna, so I want to share with everyone over here, like how the apple can't fall off far from the tree, right? So my interaction with your father has been like right from 2003. And one of the most beautiful incidents that I had was when we went to Chennai and we were heading for a recording with Rahman. So I come from Chennai. So my family was in Chennai. I wanted to go meet my family and I was hoping that he'd let me go. He's like, of course, first thing you have to keep family ahead and go ahead and meet them. Then after a little while, I said, so would you come along and meet the family? He's like, of course, I would have felt bad if you hadn't invited me. So I was like, it was so wonderful. He came, he met the entire, my entire joint family of 18 people had come and met him. And he was just so warm and genuine and affectionate. He touched my grandmother's feet. So he was like, so it was so obvious how family values are so important. So I want to know from you now, how was it to be raised as Subhash Ghai's daughter? What was it? Just tell us all.
Yeah. So I think that to start off with, my father had a very interesting childhood, and even though they had a family there, but it was kind of a little bit of a broken family, so he always worked away from them, boarding school. So I think that every time he sees an opportunity, he's really so committed to his family, all of us, and his sensitivity is really admirable towards family respect. And I think that's exactly what kind of taught me as I was growing up: respect for elders, warmth for younger children. So just trying. He's always connected so well with all age groups, as you may have noticed, and I think that is something that he's taught me as well. In fact, my friends always made fun of me that I connect so well with uncles and aunties and young kids. So I think that comes from him. Those values are really, really strong of love and warmth and passion. So yeah, how it was growing up as his daughter. So honestly, when I was growing up, there wasn't so much media, wasn't social media, wasn't news even was like very like news. It wasn't about
Yeah,
media,
right.
gossip and all that, right? So given that both my parents come from very humble backgrounds, they both started off very, very, like together, in a small rented place, really just managing to get enough money to have their meals. They both came from really humble backgrounds. So given that background, they kept me extremely humble as well. They put me into a school, which was a local convent school. They did not like fuss over me. So for me, I knew my father was a filmmaker, and he was actually at his peak when I was growing up. But for me, it was never that he was this celebrity filmmaker. It was that yes, he makes film, that's his profession, and God, he worked really hard because I hardly used to see him for months sometimes because in those days he used to go away to shoot, right? So like films like Karma was shot in Kashmir and so many different films. He's always shot all over India. So he would just go away, and I just knew that he worked really hard, and I knew that I don't know what that means to. So I never really realized that I was Subhash Ghai's daughter until maybe much later, and then even when by then I was too humble to actually go about it. So yeah, so it was wonderful. Now that I think about it, there was quite a contrast because there were parties every day. As my father loves to entertain, he loves to have friends over. There would be parties every day, and the thing I would be told is that before you go to bed, come out, greet everyone, say hello to everyone, and then go to bed. So that was my ritual. I would go wish everyone, meet everyone, and they could be the biggest celebrities, but it wasn't made to be like that, around. So yeah, I always stayed very proud like my parents are.
Wonderful. That's so nice to know that you had such a normal childhood. You know,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Anyway, so now I want to ask, so did you always know that you're going to be associated in this field of filmmaking? Did you think about other things? Did you think that you'll direct? Like, what was your entire journey of actually beginning Whistling Woods?
Yeah, so I think that as I was growing up, even though at that time when I was growing up, girls were it was not that common for girls to have a career, right? Yes, women did work, of course, but it was not so commonly accepted that okay, you know what, career banana hai. So all my friends that I was growing up with, I went to in a girls' school. They all knew that once they finish school and college, they're going to start looking for boys and they're going to get married. Whereas for me, both my parents were very, very sure of the fact that I have a career. Now, the amazing thing was that they never told me what I was going to do. Yeah, they always left that up to me. So I could imagine to be anything. At one point, I thought I'd become a doctor even. So imagine. So I think that that pressure never came to me that you have to do something, and it was always up to me to decide. So as I started growing older, and I mentioned this to you earlier as well, that from the time I was 11, I was starting to go to office with my father. So he couldn't stand the thought of me sitting at home and wasting my holidays. So uh, yeah, yeah.
That's so him.
Once, very sweetly, I baked a cake for him, and I went to his show to him saying that, look, Papa, I made a cake, and he's like, what is this? Come to office. He was like most disturbed that she's going to sit in the kitchen and not get to learn what is to be done in the office. So I think from the time I was 11, he started engaging me in his work in some way or the other, whether I would receive calls. And I think that made me even more humble and made me understand the grassroots level of organization. So I would work with this, I would work with the typists, I would get to know their lives. I wasn't given a cabin ever. I was always sitting with the operator, the secretary. So I think those kind of things really helped and how things work. Never did it cross my mind to become an actor because I just was too shy, couldn't dance, didn't look too good. So, I was like, no, not for me.
So good. Hello.
Making, and, when I was about 16, 17, Pardes was being made. And that's when my father asked me to assist him. So I think Pardes was one film, and that's why it's so special as well, that I was involved from the scripting to the to the direction. So I was assisting on the shoot, to the editing, and I did the BTS for it. And then, of course, later distribution marketing. So every holiday that I came in, I used it for Pardes. And I think that really made me understand what I was good at and what I really like to do. So it was very clear that I did not want to be a filmmaker. A lot of respect for all of you guys who are so compassionate or so passionate about filmmaking, but for me, it was just not my cup of tea. And I really did enjoy the business part of it, the interacting with people, and marketing, dealing with people like that. So I thought that was more fun. So that's when I pursued a degree in business management, and I was studying in London when actually I finished studying and I was working at a startup. And at that point, my father came and I had this dream of building a school. I want to do it now. And for me, at that point, I was this, young girl who was really enjoying her life in London, enjoying the independence. And I also thought to myself, maybe he's just saying this to be back. I don't know if he's really going to build a school. Like, he's thinking about it very passionately, but he's a filmmaker by heart. So you don't really think that he can do something like that. And but he meant it. And, he insisted that I came back first. And I even argued, I said, I can come later. Why do you want me to come now? Again, more experience here. And he said to me, which I really I'm so grateful for, because he said that there are going to be so many people who are going to come and who are going to have 10, 20 years of experience ahead of you, that you need to own this place as if it's your own baby. It only happen if you're the first person to join the school. So that is what happened. And that is exactly what I kind of came back to. Started with really grassroots level stuff, like construction, attending site meetings, looking at curriculum from all over the world, so research based stuff. And then finally we had Whistling Woods. So honestly, it's a beautiful opportunity that I received. And I don't think anybody at that age would get such a beautiful opportunity. I'm just glad that I had the wisdom, my parents had the wisdom to not push into anything that I didn't want to do, and this is something that is a career that I love. I love interacting with people. It's also a platform where I use my father's goodwill to a large extent to help youngsters in the industry who don't have to connect. So because of his goodwill, we've been able to get so many filmmakers to come, so many filmmakers to support these youngsters by giving them this training. So I think that we've really done something, and as you mentioned earlier, that I do like to contribute to society, and I feel like the biggest way that I can ever think of doing education is the best way.
So true. I think you'll think so well ahead of time. Like, there's so much thought that has gone. 20 years from now, that everything that is like, I think even as a family, the fact that he was pushing you right ahead, right, that time itself, to no, you have to pursue a career and not just get married. It was, I mean, it's really something ahead of time. I don't remember. Yeah, for us, it was like, padegi nahi to shadi kara denge. It was like that. So anyway, so getting on with the next question that we want to ask is, in terms of, so you've had now, like, right from Whistling Woods, you joined maybe 2000, 2001, I guess you started the entire journey, and it's been almost 20 years now. So what has it been, the entire journey? There've been your relationship with your father, the kind of hiccups that came along the way. Just if you could take us through that.
Yeah. So, all in all, it's been a beautiful journey. I think that all the challenges now in hindsight seem like such beautiful opportunities that came our way to make us better people, to make the Institute a better place, to make the Institute more solid in its vision and its mission. There are times when, challenges come our way and that just crumbles us and makes us weaker. But I feel like, the challenges that we faced, they've definitely made us stronger. So Shabana Azmi once said, I remember she was supporting us for this court case that was happening against us, and she announced at a press conference where there were students, and she said to them, there's a Chinese proverb that says, crisis always turns into opportunity. So, that's the way you need to look at this. And at that point, I really didn't get it. I was like, the bahut bada crisis there, I don't know how to look at it as an opportunity. But now in hindsight, I know exactly what she meant. So I think the journey's been beautiful. I think the fact that we were able to get the best people from the industry support right from the start. Yeah, so everybody who came in as faculty, everybody who came in as advisory board members, people who keep coming even now to master classes to interact with our students. So I think any institute is made by its people. People who are teaching. It's the students and the faculty that make the institute. And I think we're very, very fortunate to have built relationships along the way that both students and our faculty have only shown love for all of us in the family. In terms of the hard times, yes, there were times where I just wanted to run away. When we were just told that this dream of ours that we had spent our life's earnings into and savings into, like literally taken loan to make the school happen, had to be shut down. Just one day that news came to us, and that 2 years, like I always tell you, that aged like 20 years. So I think those 2 years were really challenging. But, there's a beautiful incident that happened, and that will always be etched in the history of Whistling Woods. Because when this court case happened and we were told that we have to vacate our campus and we have to give it up, all the students and faculty were really up. They were like, came to my dad's office with like 20, 30 of them, and they said, "Sir, we want to go and do a campus march, and we want to write a petition, and we want to, go outside the CM's office." And my dad started laughing loudly. So we were all confused. I thought the kids were making sense. They were like, "Yeah, we must." And he started laughing at us, and he said, "Don't be silly. We are not in for that. We are peaceful people. We are doing this for cinema, and you cannot do things like that. What you need to do today is celebrate cinema." And on a piece of paper, he just drew us this event, and he said, "This, do you know that this year we complete 100 years of Indian cinema?" And we all nodded our heads, and he said, "Okay, this is it. That's in 2 weeks. Now, next 2 weeks, just dedicate yourself in celebrating cinema and invite everyone." So for us, it was like, oh, like, wow, he wants to do an event, he wants to celebrate. But you know what? We went with it because his conviction was 100%. And we went with it. And I cannot tell you, Arti, that moment, the defining moment in the history of Whistling Woods, because the way it brought students, faculty, the industry together, and people to really understand outsiders. We had little children, we had elderly people, we had anybody and everybody coming in and doing workshops all for free. So everybody saw the passion that we had in us, while building that. And that really gave us a boost as well. It kind of kept us going for those 2 years that we were waiting for the verdict. So I think, and not just kept us going, we achieved a lot in those 2 years. So I think that beautiful learning for me, that and that is something that I always say, that if there's something that I really want to learn from my father, is his resilience. So many of his qualities I have, I feel, but resilience is something else. I mean, in times of failure, he actually emerges like this lion, and he's so positive in that as well. And I think that's what life is, right? Yeah, how you behave when times are tough, how you behave when times are challenging. That is what life is all about. And when you win over that, the joy that you get is more. Right?
Yeah. So this is a
the
complete
journey.
goosebump narration, actually. For the entire
So we
Celebrate
started,
Cinema
as
series.
you know, the film school, because it was a filmmaker's dream really to start it as to start a film school, an acting school, to really give an opportunity to those kids who don't have film backgrounds. And but he wanted to do it properly. He didn't want to do any kind of course, any short-term course, because he did not believe in that. He knew that if he had to do it, he had to do it properly. And eventually, of course, that film school then emerged into so many different things. We are now almost like a creative arts institute, where we are running so many creative courses. I mean, animation, VFX, media and communication, music school, of course, acting and filmmaking and design, visual communication design, fashion design. So, I think that it makes it like such a complete institute now. And that vision is really like, it was something that he had in his heart, and we've just taken it and made it like a little bit more like a vast vision. And I think the way the industry is changing always, I think it's important to stick with that. So yeah, so that's what we are today. And you've seen the campus. It's a beautiful campus. especially in this time of the year when it's
Yeah, raining. So, to all, because we are on a woman inspiring network, so to all the women out there who possibly are thinking of this filmmaking career, and you've chose, and the women students in your campus, so what is it that you seek out of them? What do you, how does it work in your head for them?
um so, sorry, can you repeat that? You
So
said that
for inspiring the women, like for young girls to come and take up this career, you know, basically how has it been the entire the women that are working in, that are probably studying in the institute, and
so how
for
it's been.
women who passed out, for them, how's it been for them?
Yeah. So I think that initially when we started, it was an uphill struggle. People didn't want, they forget girls or boys. They didn't want their kids to learn, go into a filmmaking institute. So I remember I used to stand on these stalls to market the course because we had a very lean team. So I had to do most of the work myself. And I remember that parents would just drag away their children from our stalls, saying, "Iska to socho bhi mat." So it was always a challenge to get girls to join the institute. Initially, when we started, I think the ratio was maybe 30-70, and that always made me so sad. And I was like, no, why? We need more girls, and I truly believe that women in positions of leadership always bring in so much positivity and such a different perspective to things. And I felt that the film industry also needs that. So back in 2006, yes, there was a lot of resistance, but as we've grown and as time has gone, it's so lovely to see that parents are more open-minded, girls are more sure of themselves, they know what they want to do. And so we've definitely seen a rise in the number of girls that are applying. We're almost like 50-50 in terms of the gender ratio. In fact, because of our fashion school, it's very skewed because there are so many girls who do fashion. So I want to actually reverse that a bit and get more guys fashion design. But gender equality is something that's really important to us at Whistling Woods. So very frequently, along with this organization called Ladli and for Population First, we do workshops with our students on gender sensitization. It's also part of our curriculum. So, it's very important for kids to know all the different gender and also how they show those different, nuances on screen. Yeah, it's very important as filmmakers for them to know this. So, so to be sensitized to issues like that. So yeah, so we continuously do that, and I think women who've come and studied at Whistling Woods are doing amazingly well. I mean, most of them, and it's so nice to see them grow. It's so nice to see them do so well. They hold their own, in this industry as well. Yeah, I think that there's no such thing today that girls shouldn't join the industry. I feel like every industry is the same, and
Right.
because there are so many women, you will be fine. There are
Yeah,
also
exactly.
will make sure that you're okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so true, so true. So, in terms of what is that one? I mean, we've already discussed that, but yeah, so I'll skip that. So, what do you look for women in your team when you hire your team and you're looking for women to be a part of your team? What do you exactly look for?
Why even differentiate, right? I look for the same thing in men as I look in women. Yeah, I am a little biased though. I know my dad always makes fun of me. He's like, you've got this army of women on campus. So I am a little biased towards hiring more women. I think that, their energy, their willingness to work, their willingness to do, their attitude, their attitude to work. So we at Whistling Woods, unlike many of the new age companies, we actually have had people working with us for a very long period of time as well. They don't just leave us. And people who leave us always want to come back. So I think we built this beautiful culture where we want everybody to have a sense of ownership of the campus, ownership of the institute. In fact, that's what I tell everybody. I said, "Be happy coming to work. I don't want you to come Monday morning or campus. So I want you to be so motivated that you're coming to work." And it's so nice in this lockdown that how everybody's dying. They're like writing to HR, can we be part of that 10% supposed to work? So I think so I think that is really, really something that I look for, that commitment, that compassion. I think that there have been cases where people have been really qualified for the job, but I have actually said, no, this person will not fit into our culture, and they may just leave us, too soon. So I think they don't fit in. So I feel like I go with their energy, I go with their attitude, I go with somebody who will be able to multitask and really bring value to the campus. So yeah.
Nice. So there's a question that's come up, that how does one deal with dissatisfaction and failure? What advice do you give?
So you know, I I'm not very what do you call it? I've not really personally experienced failure the way that our audience may be talking about it. Of course, I faced a huge challenge in terms of the court case that happened with us, and we almost lost Miss Words. And I always tell this to youngsters, I mean our students who are dealing with with things, and I always tell them that find your mission in life, find something that makes you happy. Don't just run after money, don't just run after success. It's really important to be able to find yourself first before you start going out in the real world and look and face those challenges. We are living in a very competitive world. We are living in a world which is full of negativity, and there are so many things that can really bog you down, right? But I think that what's important for anyone who's entering this industry, who wants to stay in this industry, is to really be able to first know themselves, first be happy with yourselves, first discover yourselves, and know that this is that, and always work towards being the better version of yourself, actually the best version of yourself. Only when you can achieve that will you have the security in your life. You don't want to compete with somebody else. I believe in karma. I believe, I told you this earlier, I practice Buddhism. And I strongly believe that we all come to this world with, and I think everyone needs to be aware of that mission. And that may come through spiritual practice, that may come through a philosophy that you choose in life, but it's really important, especially for youth, to have that in their lives. I think that gone are those days that the elderly and the old people went to spiritual places, and I don't think so. I think today the way the world is, we all need to have our own philosophy, mentor. So I think that to reach failure, again, who defines that failure? Once you're secure in your own life and you for yourself, you will not really regard anything as failure. Everything is a challenge that you overcome, right? So yeah, so I think that finding yourself, being true to yourself, not comparing yourself to others, and joy in what you do.
Yeah, so true. In terms of like, so you are at a place. So we have heard this statement very often: a woman can have it all. Or what is having it all? What is your definition of having it all? I'm sure all of us would like to hear that.
So I think we do. I think women do like to have it all. Most women do. Some women choose not to, which is fine. I think first of all we need to stop judging each other, or having some kind of scale to figure that a woman should be doing this by this age, a woman should be doing this by this age. We need to get rid of that scale. Yeah, first of all. Secondly, I personally wanted it all. Okay, I wanted a career, I wanted family, happy family. I wanted a nice husband who would support me. I wanted kids, and I really wanted it all. But the amazing part about wanting it all was that I wanted it, and I chose to live my life like that. So at the end of the day, when I had it all, when I had my kids, and I used to struggle on days where I was in office, which was quite young when my daughter was born, a year later I got pregnant. So I used to carry her to work, and she would sit in the creche while I would work, and then go feed her, and then so she came to work with me for a year. Same with my son, he me for a year, and I think that it was a struggle in those days. Especially for young moms who are working out there, I want to say that it is challenging, absolutely challenging. But please remember that that was something you decided to do. So don't beat yourself up about it. Things sort out themselves. Kids grow up resilient. They will love you no matter what. You're their mother. That's one thing I've realized. And I think that being the fact that I was a working mother, I'm a working mother, it's actually made me more independent. It's made them, they're more mature. They know how things work in the world. They know how to respect women. And my daughter definitely has big goals, to kind of achieve, because she looks at us. And my son for sure will never ever disrespect or stop his wife from doing anything and moving forward in his career, because he's seen me. So I think that working parents must not ever feel guilty about it, because you're setting such an amazing example for your children. And it is important for our men from a very young age to know that women also have in their life. So I think the one thing that my husband, a personal anecdote from a couple of days ago, one thing that my husband has control over in this house is television. That's it though. Yeah. Nothing else. He admits that he has no control over anything else. Yeah, he has two women in the house, my daughter, teenager. So the other day I wanted to watch something. I wanted to watch a movie, and I said to him, I was like, "Are you going to come into the bedroom? Can I finish this film?" And he said, "No, I'm going to watch the football, so you can." So my son goes to me. He gave me this whole monologue lecture, in this very mature way. Mama, it's your room as well, and it's your TV. You don't need to ask him. Just go ahead and do it. And you always do this, and he never allows you to watch what you want to watch. I was blown away. I was like, wow, I have a happy, even though that's not true. But I hardly watch TV actually. But he thought that once she's asking, and that also once she wants to, and that also she's asking him. So it was so cute, and I thought to myself that great, at least he's recognizing these little things and wanting to have equality around. So yeah, so I think that kids grow up so beautifully when you have decided to have it all as such. But yeah, I just want to say that don't feel guilty about it, because those are negative energies that you bring back home. Yeah, no matter how much you indulge your children over the weekend, if you're feeling guilty from inside about work or home, that energy will go to the children, and that's not healthy. So be happy with what you own them.
Nice. So lovely. I think this has been such a wonderful talk. And lastly, I would like us to sign off with the advice that you would want to give to the young women who want to enter or who are struggling. And what is that last few words, a message that you would want to give out to them?
So, I just want to say to all the girls out there that, it is difficult. I know it is hard, it's challenging, but it's challenging for everybody. I think that, really, really, with that passion in your heart, with the right attitude in your mind, enter the industry, be strong, strong to your own views as well, but don't be too attached to them, because you will have to have, some, especially in this filmmaking, the world of filmmaking, you have to be very agile. You have to keeping track and keeping pace with the changing technology and the changing business. So, all of you out there, men and women, who are entering the industry, remember to have a good attitude. Remember that, it does take a little while in the beginning, but you will get there eventually. So, just stay positive. Never give up. It's very difficult. It's very easy to give up, actually, in any struggle. And, yeah, so I think that, keeping, make sure that you do everything. Even if you've come to become an actor and you get an opportunity to be an assistant somewhere, even like serve coffee to an actor, or help with the costumes, do it. Learn everything that you can, because you don't know where it's going to help you in the future. So keep the right attitude, and don't give up on your dreams.
Thank you so much, Meghna. It was such a heartfelt conversation. We got so much out of it, and I'm sure the women out there are all ready to go now, whoever want to choose this career. Thank you.
Thanks, Arti. Great talking to you. Bye.
Bye.